Greetings, one and all. The New York Islanders have fired head coach Jack Capuano on Tuesday, and assistant general manager Doug Waite has taken the interim head coach position while the New York Islanders franchise search for a new permanent head coach. Now, the New York Islanders are going 17, 17 and 8 this season for last place in a very competitive Eastern Conference. Also, I should add, last place in the Metropolitan Division, which is probably one of the most competitive divisions this season. Now, under coach Capuano, the Islanders advanced to the second round of the playoffs last season, the first time they'd done that in over 20 years, I would just like to add as well, and has had back-to-back 100-point seasons in the regular season with the Islanders in the 2014-15 season and the 2015-16 season. So just think about that for a moment. Back-to-back 100-point seasons led them to their first playoff series win in over 20 years, and he's been fired. Just take a moment to think about that, folks. Right, Capuano began his Islanders coaching career November 15th, 2010, and is second in Islanders history behind only Hall of Famer Al Arbour in games coached with 482 and wins with 227. Now, Capuano has a Islanders record of 227 wins, 191 losses, and 64 overtime or shootout losses. That's his record with the team, and was the fourth longest tenured coach currently in the National Hockey League, behind guys such as Joel Quenneville. Now, again, as I said, take a minute to think about that stuff, folks. This is a pure example that I say every single coach firing NHL news video. Pure example of the head coach being given more blame than he deserves, I think, definitely, and being considered the fall guy or the scapegoat or the excuse for the reason the team is not playing very well. Now, I've said this in every single coach firing NHL news video I've done. The coach can only do so much. He can't go out there on the skates and score a hat-trick. He can't go out there and record a shutout for the team. That's the player's job. And I know what you're thinking, guys. Odd man rush, the coach is hired to help the team win hockey games. That's very true. What are the players signed for then? The players are signed for the exact same thing. What's the GM signed for? To put a team together to win hockey games. Like, the only person that isn't hired to win hockey games is the owner. And he doesn't hire himself, he buys the bloody franchise anyway, so it's his anyway. But the GM, the assistant GMs, the head coaches, the assistant coaches, the captains, the alternate captains, the third liners, the fourth liners, the goalies, the backup goalies, they're all hired to the franchise to win hockey games. You cannot use that reason for head coaches, and then if somebody throws it back to you towards the players, go, oh, no, you can't use that towards them, they're trying their best. What if they're not trying their best? What if they're only given 75% out of 100% they could give? Oh, and also, I was looking at the NHL.com article on this, and it says, and I quote from the article, Snow said he would take 100% of the blame for the lack of success this season. So if he's taking 100% of the blame for the lack of the success, why hasn't he resigned? Why hasn't Snow resigned from his position? Capuano keeps his coaching job. And because you can't go and say that you take 100% of the blame for something and then go fire somebody else. That's not how it works. That just shows you to be an absolute coward, in my opinion. You can't go, oh, this team's last in the Eastern Conference. I mean, it's completely my fault, but I'm going to fire that guy instead. That's like turning up to McDonald's, right? Turn up to McDonald's and there's two workers there. You ask for somebody, you have something cooked by you by one employee, and then the other employee gets the blame and gets fired for it. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And even if the person that had cooked it wrong goes, I completely take responsibility for this, and the manager goes, nah, we'll sack the other person instead. It doesn't make any sense, does it? I mean, sure, McDonald's and the NHL are completely different things, but the thing, like the point applies, I think. You can't have your general manager going, oh, it's completely my fault, and then going, I'll just fire the head coach instead. Resign, Garth Snow, if you're going to say something like that. Don't say something like that. And then he's like, obviously, I'm not hiding from the fact that it starts from me. That is a direct quote from Garth Snow. Well, if it starts with you, sort yourself out, Garth Snow. I mean, I'm a New York Rangers fan defending the now ex-head coach of the New York Islanders. That doesn't happen very often, folks. That's about as big of a rivalry as you get within sports, the two New York teams. I'm defending Jack Capuano. Sure, I don't think he's completely without fault in this. Everybody's at fault with it within this to go 18, and 7, I think it was. Something like that. But you can't go and say it's your fault and then go and fire somebody else. It's completely stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's idiotic is what it is. But anyway, so I've said this every single time I do a video in this. The coach, I think, once again, has been the scapegoat for the team not playing very well. They're trying to mix up the franchise and get a winning record back in there by getting a new coach. But at the end of the day, he led them to back-to-back 100-point seasons. So it can't really be his fault completely, can it? I mean, if Garth Snow's going to say something like he said, you should resign and let Capuano keep his job. But that's just me. I'm not a GM. I'm not getting paid millions of dollars a year, so, you know. But, yeah, anyway, what do you think? Should Capuano have been fired by the New York Islanders franchise? You clearly know my opinion on the subject matter. I back up our underdog guys, the guys that get fired for no reason, whether they're Islanders players or Islanders coaches or not. I'll back them up. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Please feel free to leave your opinion in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, and watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.